This is the Secrets of Slot Car Racing number 7. This is about rescuing Aurora Thunder Jet vintage slot cars. And I've recently acquired these. Most of them I got at a model car swap meet that was local. And none of these is what I would label as restorable. So I'm really doing it to revive the chassis, getting them running. I might even put different bodies on it or put one of the newer bodies that are available. So basically this is just, I'm not really restoring them, so I don't do a real thorough job. There's some guys who have some great videos. They do a beautiful job making everything look brand new, the body, the chassis. So we'll take one as an example, and really it's a thorough cleaning and lubrication. The body comes off. There's usually 2 screws on the bottom. This one didn't have one. There's also a black guide pin. You can loosen the back one. You don't have to take it out of the body. I usually leave it there. In your chassis, it looks like this. Very distinctive row of gears on the top. And you remove this clamp. And this is basically an electric motor that you can take apart. So all we're doing is cleaning everything and lubricating it. And usually the armature on the motor, this is called the commutator plate, the copper part. That's kind of dirty. I've seen them where they're totally black. Sometimes the car still runs when they're totally black, but the cleaner that is, the better the car runs. And I took the liberty of already polishing one up. I use this Simichrome. It's a paste. It does a really good job. A lot of motorcycle guys use it to do their chrome on their motorcycles. You can find it in some bike shops. But anyway, that's what it should look like when it's all done. In the chassis, there's 2 magnets. They both come out, front and back. And they need to be properly orientated, have a north and a south. And they should go together like this. If you have 2 magnets and they go together like that, they are not, the car will not run. So you need to make sure you have one north and one south. And the best way to do it is just make sure that they nest together like that. These little hockey pucks in the bottom of the chassis, those are called brushes. They conduct the electrical power to the engine, and I replace those. I just always replace them. I get some new ones. I take a piece of paper. I take the new ones. You can also use a piece of sandpaper, and I just sort of rub them on the paper. It takes off any edges they may have. It sort of starts to break in. So I'll do both these. Hopefully this is the only thing that needs to get replaced, but often there's all kinds of little missing pieces. Gears, there's little springs on the bottom, and you know, I get it to this. The real key is we need to make sure there's some tension pushing up on these brushes. This is really good. They're sticking way up above the bottom of the chassis. And when people talk about tuning or tweaking their cars, this is what they're talking about, making sure that there's a lot of pressure. I don't think I've ever made one that had too much pressure on it. I'm sure there is a way to do that, but I haven't done it. So we take our cleaned up one. This is when I go and I oil everything, put a little drop of oil on the axles. Make sure you get this little hole in front and rear axles. I like to put a little drop of oil here between the crown gear and the side of the chassis. And then we also need to put some oil for the shafts and the gears on this top plate. Need to get a little under both of these gears. And this shaft in the back, I like to make sure I get a little bit of oil in there somehow. And a little piece of fuzz there. So any little piece of fuzz or cat hair or whatever, I've pulled them cars apart and there's just cat hair all gunking up the axles and things like that. So you look for anything that's melted, bent, broken, anything that's supposed to rotate like an axle that shouldn't, could have a bent axle or wheel or whatever. Another touch of oil. Everything spins pretty freely. And the real key is having the right oil. So on the very bottom, we see this silver part right in the middle, and that's where the motor shaft comes through. And that needs a special red oil so it doesn't foul the brushes. So I just put a little drop there. There's a number of people that sell this stuff on eBay just specifically for these Thunder Jets. Aurora sold it back in the 60s. It's typically red. I don't know, nowadays there's probably some better stuff that might be a different color. And we're done, but the real key is making sure that motor shaft on the bottom is lubricated with the right oil so the brushes don't get fouled from some funky oil. And then you can use a 9-volt battery to run it. It now runs, and you can check make sure the car's going the right way. The magnets are in the right location. When the positive side is put on the driver's side or left side of the car, that's driver's side of the United States, that is, that the tires and wheels turn the right way, and that looks good. Oh, I meant on the driver's side, the positive side of the battery goes there. And what I usually do is set the chassis on the battery. I let it run. It sort of just gets the oil hopefully moved around where it needs to go and runs in the brushes a little bit. And I just let it sit there while I start working on the next car. So that's it. It's a cleaning. It's putting new brushes in. Just a little bit of lubrication, all the moving parts. And the real key is using the red oil on the motor shaft. And I'm sure there's an art into going into tweaking these to get the most performance, and that's really setting the brush tension. So hopefully this helps. That's all I do. I don't really restore these. I don't really clean up any of the brass or copper on the bottom and make it shiny. I really just get them running and focus more on track testing and find out which ones sort of have those intangible running qualities that I like. So hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. Thanks for watching.